New tonight, wildfire experts are warning people about the dangers of an invasive snail and its brightly colored eggs.
Yeah, these slugs can be found at the Salt River, and they're posing a threat to Arizona wildlife. 12 News journalist Tiani Jadaling went to the Salt River to see the bright colored eggs for herself.
They look like a cluster of bright pink bubblegum and can be found on the riverbanks and sometimes even in the water. But for the last several years, Arizona Game and Fish have been trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, they kind of look like nerds.
They look like some candy growing on the rock, and it was interesting, so I wanted to see what it was.
That's how people visiting the Salt River describe these bright pink clusters. They're apple snail eggs, and they come from slugs native to Florida and South and Central America. But as eye-catching as they are, experts with the Arizona's Game and Fish Department want them gone.
And unfortunately, somebody's unwanted aquarium pet was illegally released into the lower Salt River probably about 17 years ago.
Jeff Sorensen, the invertebrate wildlife program manager with Game and Fish, says a single female can produce thousands of young a year. But there's an issue because most of the wildlife don't feed on these type of slugs.
They do pose a threat to our native snail fauna, which is a big part of the food base for a lot of our fish and wildlife. Because these snails are so abundant, they're going to outcompete them or predate on them.
And the risk isn't just to wildlife.
These snails have a parasite, or may have a parasite, that might cause rat lungworm disease, which is if we get infected with it, it's a form of meningitis.
To keep the population in check, every 2 weeks, experts go down to the Salt River and do a time count for the pink egg masses, on top of already doing this.
Using our kayak and paddleboard paddles, knock those eggs into the water to drown those eggs. And then in the backwaters, in the shallow areas, we'll actually collect out the live snails.
And he says if you're out on the river, you can help too. Officials say paddlers can use a kayak paddle to knock down any pink egg masses they see. Something neighbors we spoke to say they're happy to do to keep the wildlife and family traditions alive.
We'll definitely do our part to help keep our river because it's our family tradition. We've been doing it for years now, and we want to
gotta keep the family traditions alive.
Yep. Arizona's Game and Fish say over the last 7 years, they've captured thousands of live apple snails and egg masses. And if you do happen to touch one of them, they advise that you wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water. At the Salt River, I'm Tiani Jadaling, 12 News.
Tiani, thanks. 12